One of the biggest names in Quest 2 accessories lately has been BoboVR, because they've been innovating ahead of the industry and they listen to our feedback, your feedback, and make new products because of that. And now they're dropping a whole plus line of products from the feedback. Let's open this up. $44 right now. This just launched on Amazon on Saturday, the new BoboVR M2 Plus head strap right here. So the Plus line is going to potentially be an upgrade or a replacement for the current straps out there, but they're looking to go with a modular design. This is your new rear head pad. Extremely flexible, and it comes with the pleather type. It's got BoboVR branding. They have also included, remember their honeycomb padding? They've made a thinner, more easily cleanable honeycomb padding, something that couldn't potentially hide a bug in there like I talked about in the other video. I was kind of scared that I'd have a bug in mine, but they include this automatically now. You've got all the goodness of the original M2 in that it's a halo. It's got the thicker pads on top, so these shouldn't push on your head like some people had originally. It's got that new short strap design, but this is not a battery strap currently, but you can see right here, there is an expansion port. In case you want to buy the battery pack later separately, you take this off, it converts to a battery port right here, and then their batteries continue to work. Modular, upgradable. Something that they learned from their first line was that people loved their products, but they didn't love the fact that they had to buy a new one and buy a new one. And yes, if you want this and you already have an M2 Pro, this is something else to potentially buy, but hopefully from here on with this modular design, they can just make kits now for you to change out whatever parts you want. Let's get this thing installed and do a field test. So we've got the same installation process as the original M2 and M2 Pro. It just slides onto the side arms here, and it has a spot that tells you don't push it any further past. Now it does call for you to put this through here and back. I personally don't care for that. I like to be able to have the adjustment of being able to move it back further, but because they do call that out, we will start with it that way before I switch it probably to the way I usually do it. So it just goes right down through the top, which is a little different than the way you normally put it up and this way. So now you're putting it down and backward, and that hooks on there basically to keep this from moving any further back. Back pad snaps in similar to how like a Kiwi Elite does, and it does have the BoboVR words on here and the left and right side, so it gives you a more of a clear indicator of what's the top and what's the bottom. Whew. That part's a little harder. Because there's this rubbery outside, the whole thing is flexible. It's not like others that have a hard plastic that just shoves right in. This one, you kind of got to work it in there a little more tricky. Once it goes in, it doesn't want to just snap back out. And I do see that there's a little peg in there that goes in, but it's weird how flexible that is. In case you're a top strap kind of person, it does look like they leave a hole here in case you really wanted to put your top strap in there. Interesting. Boy, it has a ton of flexibility movement. They really want this thing to be super comfortable and hang on to the back of any skull shape. So they really went a step further with this one than they did with the old ones. We'll see how it actually feels though. Come here, fan. Something about the joint feels different in here. There's now notches to it, which I like. It feels much more solid than it used to. So now you can take it down really low to the bottom of your skull if you like that. You can have it higher and tighten it up. That's definitely an improvement. I really don't think that anybody's gonna have a problem with this slipping anymore. But if you do, or if you feel like you just want a little more stability, they do include the honeycomb padding that I wanna check out. This is crazy, but let me just see. The thing is so flexible. Honestly, the padding is kind of unnecessary. It is like a Velcro-y feeling, so you might not be in love with how that feels, but you could rock this thing without any pads at all, because it's so flexible. It grabs on the back of your head so well. And if you were having a problem slipping, I mean, that Velcro would really hang on to your hair. It doesn't pull your hair out by any means. Like I can do that, it's not doing anything to my hair. The padding, it's almost unnecessary. I love that they had the foresight to include the honeycomb padding now, instead of that being an afterthought that you have to pay more for. Now that's totally separate. The honeycomb one is kind of the same as when I tried it without any padding at all. It really hangs on. You feel the whole thing molding to your head. It's super comfortable in the back, super comfortable in the front. It's not one that you're gonna be able to super easily pull it completely up out of your face. I mean, I can get it pretty well out of my way. So if you're a developer, someone who's working on a game, you wanna be able to pull this up and down. It does allow some flexibility for that, but it's not like you can completely move it out of your way. You're still kind of looking underneath it. I'm gonna try it without that front strap. Still the same Velcro design on the inside. Whole strap can actually just come off. But with that Velcro design on the front, we're still gonna be able to easily cable manage our ones that have speakers and headphones on them like we do now. I really like what they've done here with this and how comfortable it is. It's so flexible though, it almost feels, when you go to grab it, it almost feels like it could come off. It's not going to, it's really in there, and you can see that there's notches inside that grab it. Okay, whew. That made me nervous. Well, as you can see from that, it's really in there. So not only is there little teeth on either side, which are made of hard plastic, there's also this hole here that you can see on the inside. There's a tab in there that locks into that. So this thing is on there really well. Putting this thing in is probably the hardest part you're gonna have with this whole thing. But once you get it in, you shouldn't have a reason to have to take it back out like I'm doing. I'm gonna take it away and game for a little while. I'm gonna try all the hard games. I'm gonna try all the movement, see if I can throw this thing around at all. I'm gonna do it mostly with the honeycomb. I will try it a little bit by switching back the other padding, but I preferred the honeycomb before. I think it's what I wanna stick to again. Also, because this new honeycomb padding, it's so thin that even you get some sweat in there, it's gonna be really easy to wipe it out. So I like that a lot. I'll be right back. BoboVR M2 Plus. It seems like they've taken what they did with the M2 and the M2 Pro, all of the learnings, and they've put it into one strap. The top tabs that people originally said on the M2 pushed on their head and gave them weird pressure points. They put much thicker pads on here and made them better. They ditched the top strap design. They've stuck to that front strap, although I got rid of the front strap. I didn't need that. They do keep it there for other people who do like it. The main complaint with the M2 and even the M2 Pro was the back part was sliding around on people's heads. They've made this super flexible, soft rubber back here that has a lot of movement, a lot of adjustability, feels really good. But then on top of that, they even added options for you. Pleather, honeycomb, so you can really customize this to yourself. And the funny thing for me, I actually in gaming, I realized that I really liked the grippiness of the honeycomb up top, but the pleather down below, I liked that extra thickness around the bottom of my skull. So I ended up rocking a hybrid of the two. And you have that option. You can switch them out, either one interchange. And it still has Velcro, of course, for all the padding. So if you wanted to mess around with this, or if like me, you have headphones, speakers, you want to hide those wires behind here, you can still do that. They've now made this part feel a lot more stable. Those clicks in there really make it feel higher quality. Gear always felt good. Gear still feels great, but the modular capabilities of having this spot right here so that if you decide later you want that battery pack, now they make it easy. You just buy a kit. You don't have to buy everything. So they kind of learned, I think, from that retrofit kit they made for the M2 Pro. Really awesome innovation, really great that they listen. A big question a lot of you are probably thinking here though, because you already bought the M2 Pro, you bought the M1, is it worth buying another head strap now? I like the head strap. I'm gonna use this head strap over these once I get the battery capability. It's hard for me to say, no, you shouldn't get on, but it is more money. If you've already got the M2 Pro and it fits like a glove, you like it, stick with it. You don't need to upgrade. If you've got the M2 or the M2 Pro and it slips around on your head, you're not in love with how it feels, this is gonna completely fix that for you. And there's still a big enough market for the M2 Pro, you could probably sell your strap and at least recoup some of that, or you keep your battery and then you're gonna be able to have extra battery. There is that. I know that kind of stings if you bought one and you weren't quite happy with it to pay for another one, but me personally, this is the best strap BoboVR has come out with, short of right now it doesn't have the battery pack on it, but once we get the battery pack attachment, this is gonna be my full-time strap from now on. So what do you think out there? A lot of you know Bobo from the channel, you love what they've done. Some of you still stick to Kiwi or their other products. I'd love to know in the comments down below, what are you gonna do here? You're gonna stick to what you've got, you're gonna go for an upgrade, or you're gonna kind of hang out, watch the rest of the modular stuff that comes out this week. We've already got the M1 Plus, so there will be a video of this out tomorrow, and then the battery dock, the actual M2 Pro Plus that already has the battery installed, the retrofit kit, everything will be coming into us hopefully tomorrow now, and we'll be popping videos out to you the rest of the week, every day, covering all of this. So thank you so much for coming out and being here with us today, and we will see you in another reality.